Did you know that here in America, on any given day, any given night, that there is at least 500,000 people experiencing homelessness? Now, could you survive with just a smartphone? Let's dive into technology and see how it can be a lifeline in times like these. Welcome to my guide on how to be able to survive homelessness with just a smartphone in 2024. Okay, so you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, and especially when we're talking about the digital economy. But this is something that every homeless person can do. You actually get access to a free phone, and therefore this allows you an opportunity to be able to make money. So if you're looking to get off the streets or survive homelessness or just make your life a little bit more comfortable, this guide on how to be able to survive homelessness with just a smartphone is definitely for you. The reality of homelessness, and this is something that, not only that I get to experience, but I get to hear other people make excuses, is, you have to find shelter. You have to be able to go find a food line. It's a hurry up and wait type of lifestyle. You wait in line for 3 hours so you can spend 15 minutes to go get one little thing that you need. And then, your whole day gets consumed just on basic survival skills. Okay, but what if you could actually free up some of your time by, figuring out an alternative way to be able to make money with the resources that you have on hand? Okay, so what kind of things can you do with your smartphone that will help you get through a tough time like this? Are you aware that there are gig apps out there, depending upon whether you have an Android or an iPhone? Most people have an Android. Some people might have an iPhone to start with, but the marketplace actually has a lot of gig apps. So that means if you're looking for, something where you can go make, 50, 20 bucks, something like that, that will give you an opportunity to go out there and make a little bit of extra money while going and doing some physical labor or some, something small that somebody needs done. They don't need you forever. They just need you today, maybe tomorrow, and that's about it. And then that means that you have the ability to pay for, let's say, a gym membership, because you don't want to have to sit there and wait in line because, you want to get to work. You want to be able to make some money. You want to be able to get off the streets, and then maybe, you can actually afford your own food. Or like what I have done is I am now affording my own, I have my own cook set, so therefore I can just go to the store, grab what I need to eat. Therefore, I am not tied to the timeline of all the different services. And this is one of the great benefits that you have, having a smartphone and using it to be able to make money while you're homeless, because this is actually going to be the economy of the future. Phone can also be a powerful tool because it's like you have the internet in your hand. Let's say you're looking for a shelter. Let's say you're looking for services. Let's say you need to put in an application. Now that to be able to do your food stamps, you have to do an online application. So if you have a smartphone, that means you can do it wherever you're at. You can sit outside a building, collect internet. Therefore, you're not dragging your time. One of the most important things about being homeless is being efficient with your time. And when you're efficient with your time, it frees you up to be able to do other things. And when you're trying to be efficient with your time, you're trying to do something that's going to make you money, something that's going to be productive and help you kind of have a better opportunity in life. So let me go over, yes, you can use it to be able to search for shelters and stuff like that, but let's talk about the making money aspect, because I think that's the most valuable part. Not only do you have your gig apps, okay, so what are some gig apps? There's a company called ShiftSmart. If you are looking for work or like some side gig work and stuff like that, even if you're homeless right now, you can go on the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store, and you can download ShiftSmart. You can fill out the application. They're going to put you through a presentation. They have multiple contracts. You're no longer having to go into an office for your general labor gigs. A lot of these general labor gigs also give you the opportunity to check in with your smartphone. So therefore you have an app. So let's say you're sleeping and it's 5 o'clock, you check in. If they have a job, they will push it out to you. Otherwise, you could just sit there and hang out. You don't have to worry about packing up your camp too much, or you can take your time, or you can sit somewhere and have your morning cup of coffee. That way you're not sitting there in one of these little work halls waiting. So therefore it frees you up so that now, even though you're waiting for them to send you out to go find work, you can find other things. So there's also apps that will allow you to freelance, like Upwork. and Fiverr. You can go on there, you can see what kind of things that they offer, you can see what kind of different gigs that you have the experience and knowledge for, so that you can actually market yourself. Now, there is a little bit of a learning curve. I know that a lot of us, especially if you're in my age group, because I know that the average person that watches these videos is probably around about 35 to 55 is where my largest demographic. So some of us are to a point where we kind of got introduced to phones, but we're not really that proficient in it, all the way up to, if I could just go back to a flip phone, or that's all I own is a flip phone, that's great. But if you're going to be able to go into the new economy and be able to survive, because even going to work halls and labor readies and things like that, they are now switching to apps. A lot of these places where you go to these temp services, you could now go download their app and do the application right there. Now that saves you time, that you can sit in one place, you can download the different apps, you can search the app store for all these different apps, okay? And then not only that, you also have the ability to conduct like your banking on there. So if you were doing something like what I'm doing, which is content creation, now you have apps like PayPal, you have Patreon, you have all these different apps, and then these apps will actually help you make money because you're now creating content, okay? And then like I have my tip jar, so therefore I have a link down in the description, and then you go to the tip jar and you put it in there, and then all that transaction happens is electronic, because the wave of the future, homeless are no longer going to be able to panhandle like they used to. Okay, they're just not. Unless you're going to hold a sign that says, here's my Cash App handle, so hashtag or $ FriarTuck81 is mine. And so just hold a sign up there that just says that. But the thing is you've got so many distracted drivers. They're in their cell phone. They're paying attention to other things. They're painting their nails. They're reading a book while driving. I've seen some crazy stuff out there flying aside. And so now it becomes even harder to be able to get people to notice you, because they're so wrapped up in their technology that if you don't get on board with the technology that they have, you're going to not only be left behind, but when people start looking at homelessness in the future, they will see those as the people who refuse to adapt, improvise, and overcome to the workforce of the future, the economy of the future, and that will eventually become what our homeless are. Because if you're homeless and you're about to be homeless, or you're in the beginning stages of homelessness, or you've been out here and you're just like, I'm tired of it, it's time to get off. This gives you an opportunity to be able to work around your schedule, to be able to offer you an opportunity to dictate your own schedule based upon your needs. Because sometimes when you're homeless, living takes a lot longer than when you're housed, because everything's compartmentalized, everything's there. I have to pack up camp, I have to take Sam to the bathroom, I got to go to the bathroom, I got to eat, I got to do this, I got to do that. I've got like 5 or 10 things I got to do in the morning before I even get to take a deep breath, and that takes up to 2 hours. Okay, the average person that lives in a house doesn't have to deal with that. So being able to have things that you can use to work around and accommodate you while you're living through the homeless experience is important to you, especially if you plan on ever getting off the streets and becoming a productive member of society, however you see your role within that. Because everybody has their own level of participation that they want to do. Some just want to make enough money to be comfortable, live out on the streets. Some may just want to make enough money to be comfortable, just to have a roof over their head, but then they want to be able to play for the rest of their time. And then you have people that are money motivated. They want to be able to have everything. They want to have every single last dollar and say, look, I am king of the dollar, okay? But, with the way that the economy is moving, the way that the whole world is changing, if you do not take the opportunity to use the tools on hand, this is why you get the free cell phones. The free cell phones are not a scam. Now, you can pay for upgraded services. If you want the tablet, especially if you're doing art design, you're going to want to get something like a tablet, and they do offer free tablets, but they're not free anymore. They're like $20. Okay, it's not hard to come up with $20. Okay, so at least do something that allows you to, because there's going to come a point in time when you can't panhandle, and your form of panhandling of the future will be your smartphone. So are you going to use your smartphone, or are you going to continue trying to do it the old way? We don't use horse and buggy whips for a reason. Okay, in closing, let me share a quick story with you. on how, not just how I came into understanding the importance of a smartphone, but also to understand that it is the wave of the future. So when I first lost my business, I was staying with my parents, right? And I needed ways to make money, because if I was going to start a business, I needed money. I wanted something with a flexible enough schedule that it would allow me time to focus on building a new business, because I wasn't going to go into janitorial. I kind of wanted to go into video production and stuff like that. And I actually got fairly decent at editing when I put the effort into it. You guys have seen it in some of my videos that I have put minimal effort into. Okay, and so I was able to pick my schedule. I would pick my schedule for up to a week. You know, there are only like 3-4 hour shifts. Sometimes I would go on site to Circle K because I had a laptop at the time, and I was able to do the call center. And if you're somebody who's about to be homeless, or you know, you're kind of going down that path, something like this will at least help slow down that decay, that descent into homelessness, because it allows you to an opportunity to be able to get low-hanging fruit, easy work, easy gigs. So I use ShiftSmart. Okay, that was one that I use. That's one that I found that works really, really well. They treat you like a slave. Expect to be treated like crap, but if you need the work, and you know, you're willing to deal with the abuse, go take something like ShiftSmart. They also have something called GigSmart. Okay, but that is what propelled me into becoming a content creator. And because I got proficient in understanding, you know, and really using my smartphone. I mean, I never really used my smartphone up until until I lost my business. Actually, I never used my smartphone for anything other than making phone calls, or maybe playing a game or something like that. My phone was mostly a brick. I rarely used it. Now I use it every day, all day. It is how I support myself. It is how I live. And without this, it would be much harder to be able to live. It would be a much more miserable existence. And I find that I have a much better quality of life going this way. Yes, there are struggles, and just like with anything in life, you have to not only play the long game, but you got to understand that there's going to be sacrifices and struggles. Or as one of my favorite books always says, if you decide you want something, ask yourself if you're willing to pay the price up front and in full before you actually get your reward. Because if you're not, then that's not for you. And so sometimes you may have to struggle a little bit, but I'm telling you, you know, once you start getting the wheels greased and the engine warmed up and stuff like that, it will completely change how you see the world. Okay, it will open you up to other opportunities, free you up for more productive things that will allow you to propel yourself into the lifestyle that you really want to. Okay, so you guys know how to help the channel, which is become a subscriber. Don't forget to share this video, like it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Are there any other apps out there that you know of that are really, really good as far as getting gig work? Please share them within the community. Everything else is down in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.